My grandfather, Uno Sagam, is Estonian. He joined the Finnish-Estonian army and fought the Russians in World War II.
Estonia has the Baltic Sea to its west and Russia to the east, a gateway between Europe and Russia. Over the centuries, they have faced wave after wave of occupiers. The bloodiest chapter of their history began in 1939 when Soviet soldiers crossed the border. Within months, thousands were executed. Others disappeared. Then, the Nazis invaded. When they withdrew, the Soviets came back, this time with a vengeance. The Soviets stayed for 50 years and nearly eradicated the Estonian nation.
My grandfather, Uno, he fought in the Winter War in Finland, and I have this picture of him when he was in the Finnish army, and I have his medal that he won with honor fighting.
Fighting in Finland, Uno was captured by the Soviets, but was able to escape and make his way back to Estonia. Once there, he was forced to join the occupying German army. It wasn't long before his resistance to this forced conscription led to his imprisonment in a German prisoner of war camp. Memories of his previous exploits and his successful escape led to yet another plan. The night before his scheduled execution, Uno made an attempt at freedom. A recently dug sewer ditch gave him an option. Knowing the Estonian countryside, he avoided capture and stealthily arrived at the seashore. As he made his way to open water, Swedish fishermen rescued him from his small, stolen craft and smuggled him to freedom.
As my grandfather escaped from Estonia, he met my grandmother, Lisi, in Sweden. She had also escaped from Estonia, and they fell in love and married and started a small family. Because of the Cold War, my grandfather decided that America would be a safer place to move his family, and so they picked up and moved to Washington. During the Cold War, all letters to and from Estonia were not allowed. So grandfather and grandmother, they were cut off from their families in Estonia for many, many years. Somewhere in the late 50s, early 60s, communication was opened up between the East and West again, and my grandfather was able to communicate with his mother again by letter. I was looking through my grandfather's things, and I found letters that were from his mother in Estonian. And so I started writing these addresses that I had, explaining who I was and asking them if they knew my grandparents and if they knew my family. 2 weeks later, after I'd written my first letter, I got a letter from Estonia, from my grandfather's mother's side of the family. And they were so overjoyed to hear from me. And immediately, the letters inquired of me, when are you coming to visit? I booked tickets to Estonia right away after I got that letter. My most memorable visit was my cousin Linda. I didn't have their address up until a few days before I left, and so we just showed up on their doorstep. And when I got to the door, Linda was crying and saying, never in my life did I think this would happen. And we hugged and we cried for about 15 minutes. As long as I can remember, my deepest desire to meet them and reconnect with my family. And learning more about my grandfather as a child from my relatives, and learning the difficulties that he endured, the hardship, the heartbreak of being separated from his family. I look at his Medal of Honor from war in a whole different light, and it is a great honor to have it